Thanks for being here with me. Episode 91 of The Glow. Janie V coming to us from the City of Angels. Welcome. Thank you for being here. You know, it would be easy to state a time. We're going to come on at this such and such time and have it planned and scheduled, but I just don't think it would be quite as much fun. It's wonderful to be here now in the truth and authenticity, in the inspiration of this moment. MB, thank you so much for being here. So grateful for your presence. MB coming to us from West Asheville, yeah? West Asheville today. My neighborhood. So, there's been a topic in my sessions lately, personal sessions, and in our Secret Glow group about the fear of being judged. You know, people are afraid of being judged, they're afraid to step out, they're afraid to step into their genius, they're afraid to step into their authenticity. They're afraid to open their hearts for the fear of being judged. I say, what are you afraid of? They say, well, people are going to judge me. So it's a common limitation that is in our human condition. So let's look at it a little bit and see if we can liberate ourselves from this fear of being judged. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. Oh yeah, and when you come in, please share where you're from. We really enjoy that and appreciate that. And it creates a sense of global community that brings us together. Welcome, Danielle. Danielle is north of the border, yeah, Canada. Ontario, perhaps. Sweden. Sweden produces a lot of amazing beings that I've met in this incarnation. West Asheville, and what street are you on? MB? What street are you on in West Asheville right now? Buffalo Street, cool. Nice. Maybe I'll throw a stone your way and see what happens, see if you hear it. The fear of being judged. So people are gonna think, so someone was telling me yesterday, I don't wanna come on camera and people will think that they might think that I'm stupid or I'm not that smart or how do I look, right? All of these sorts of things. There's an endless level of judgments that the ways people can judge us. So it's fun for me to do something like this, just put myself wide out there, and thousands of people watch. And is there a fear of being judged? Are people going to judge me? People might judge me. Will they judge me? Could they judge me? What will they say? What will they think? I think the way to look at it is always from the perspective of truth, to want to explore the truth, to want to discover the truth, to want to be in the truth, to want to be with the truth, to want to live in the truth. And as this old saying goes, the truth will set you free. So when we live in accordance and in abidance, aligned with truth, we are liberated. Everybody with me so far? When we live in accordance with the truth, we are liberated. Is everybody with me so far? As we take the next step together, it's like we're holding hands, and we're walking in this beautiful, magical, majestic field surrounded by mountains and wildflowers. And the sun is setting, it's twilight, and the sky is like blazing, like majestic purples and yellows and orange and red, and we're walking and we're aligned with the truth, and we take the next step together into a space of recognizing that it's not a question of if people will judge you. People are judging you all the time. There's always a perpetual sense of judgment that's happening. Judgment. And the judgment is based on, there's somewhere that I want to go. There's somewhere where I want my story to take me. And I'm judging whether you're someone that can take me where I want to go or not. That makes sense? I'm making a judgment. Welcome, Elizabeth. Where are you joining us from today? So a judgment is a function of the mind. Judgment is not bad. What happens, which is really funny, I hope you can see the humor in this, is particularly spiritual people have a tremendous amount of judgment about having judgment. So they have so much judgment about having judgments. They judge themselves for having judgments. Isn't that funny? Isn't that really hilarious? How we judge ourselves for having judgments. Judge other people for having judgments. Make judgments about your judgments. So it's like this multi-level sense of limitation that's happening. But if we can recognize it, yes, here I am, I'm wide open, my heart's wide open, my mind is wide open, I'm allowing the true essence of who I am to flower, to shine, to radiate. The creative, universal creative intelligence to flow through me in this moment. The genius that is inherent in all things to flow through me as the unique expression of who and what I am in this moment. I recognize that there's something in me that wants to come through that's larger than any level of self-consciousness. Self-consciousness creates judgment, right? So, you ready to take the next step together? This is a big one. We're in this beautiful, amazing, wide open, vast field. Sun is setting. The trees are glorious. The birds are singing. Are you ready for the next? This is a big step. You're ready for it. We're holding hands. We're in it together. There's an electromagnetic frequency emanating out from our hearts, creating a unified field of resonance. Sirens are blaring in the distance somehow. Even though we're in a field, there's fire trucks now and ambulances. And we embrace everything that's arising in this moment. And we take the next step together, which is maybe, perhaps, what we are truly concerned about is not the judgments that other people have about us, but the judgments we have about ourselves. The judgments we have about ourselves. The only way you can truly not care, quote unquote, the only way you can truly not care what other people think about you is if you can truly not care what you think about you. Because your thoughts and other people's thoughts are interconnected. There's only really one consciousness. There's a stream of consciousness, and what we call my consciousness and your consciousness is really the same consciousness. So we're not really concerned ultimately about what other people think about us or how other people judge us. We're concerned about what we think about ourselves and how we judge ourselves. That's a big step to recognize that. So I don't really care what you think about me. What I really care about is what I think about me. And if I don't really care even what I think about me, now, and only now, I'm free. I'm liberated. Ready to take the next step together. I think this might be the last step. You can only be free of not caring what you think about yourself if you realize that your thoughts, your stories, your beliefs about yourself are not who you really are. And therefore the stories, the beliefs that other people have about you are not who you really are. Then there's the freedom to not be afraid of how other people are judging you. Because it's not who you really are. Your judgments about yourself are not who you really are. Judgments don't need to be judged. You see that? Judgments don't need to be judged. There's nothing wrong with judging someone. There's nothing wrong with judging yourself, but it's just a judgment. It's just a story. It doesn't have any real significance, right? And as I said, the judgment only really comes into being when you're wanting to move a certain direction. So if I have a company and I'm trying to maximize my profits, then I will make judgments on those that apply for the new position to see if they help me maximize my profits or not, right? And by the way, we want to get to a more elevated, conscious, awakened community and culture and society where maximizing profits is not the ultimate goal of the company. But that's for another episode. Get to that some other time. Welcome, Lily. Welcome, Lily. Where are you from? Let me look through some of the comments. Judgments definitely come from the ego, Miriam. Danielle says, you are right. See your articulation. I do care about how I feel about myself. I am no longer in the space of concerning myself with being judged. I am content with stillness, but sometimes articulation out loud is difficult or feels forced. Nikki says, what if you don't like what you think about yourself? Nikki, you're so fun. If you don't like what you think about yourself, that's a judgment, right? You're judging what you think about yourself. So the only thing you can do is to be aware of the judgment without judging it. I'm noticing I don't like what I'm thinking about myself. So it's like a layer. It's like there's a thought, and there's a thought about a thought, then there's a thought about that thought, and we're becoming more and more contracted. We're becoming more and more imprisoned by our thoughts, by the stories about ourselves that we're attaching and identify with, by our limiting belief systems and thought patterns. What is a limiting belief system? Every belief system is a limiting belief system if you attach and identify to it. It doesn't matter if it's a good belief or a bad belief, happy belief or a sad belief, because they alternate. What's good, what appears to be good if you attach and identify with it, becomes bad eventually. What's bad, if you attach and identify with it, will look to be good. What seems to bring happiness, if you attach and identify with it, will come to bring sadness. This is easy to see. I think an easy way to see is in the middle of relationships. You know, where this oscillates. It switches. And the real question is, are you free? Are you free? Are you free to rest into the essence of who and what you truly are? Are you free to rest in to the infinite essence of who and what you truly are? Do you know who you really are? Have you realized who you really are? Have you awakened to who you really are? And are you able to express that in the world as a clear, open channel for this creative intelligence to move through you in each moment? Welcome, Tati. The line between judgment and discernment. The fine line. For some reason, it's making me think of a fine wine. I guess it sounds similar. Anybody have any other questions or comments? You can feel that opening sometimes when you release the story, and there's just this vast space of presence, and it's something that's active, it's alive. It's not something that you think your way into. It's not something that you strategize your way into. It's non-linear. It's here. It's available now. So when we're in these quiet spaces, you'll feel it really come out and kind of, you know, it's an opening to the essence of who we are, and it's here. So we're resting into the authentic self, the authentic essence of who we are, and it feels liberating. It feels freeing. It feels loving. It feels peaceful, as some folks are saying, and it feels empowering. Where do these beliefs come from? What a good question. Conditioning, right? So we have so many beliefs, we have so many unconscious belief systems and thought patterns that are serving us in an unhealthy way. They're not serving us. They're unhealthy. Their manifestation. And so when we become more present, when we awaken, we become aware of these unconscious belief systems and thought patterns, and we're then able to transcend them and recondition or reprogram ourselves in a way that's aligned with the highest universal creative intelligence. And we become what I often call life artists. You know? So to transcend, to realize you're not attached and identified to the belief, to the story of who you thought you were, allows you to recreate in the way that you express the vehicle that expresses itself, the mind-body system. Itself, to recreate itself in this world from the space of unbounded freedom, infinite liberated expanse, the space of unconditional love, vast inner peace and empowerment. Realizing that there's nothing outside of you. You are the essence of all that is. I saw Jim Carrey, who's become some kind of awakening being. He's been studying Eckhart Tolle and different things. So Jim Carrey came out. This is my last story for the day, by the way. Jim Carrey came out on one of these like late night shows, Jimmy Kimmel late night show, and he comes out and he has this long beard, and the song comes on, which is one of my favorite songs. Just for a moment, just for one moment, just for a moment, let's be still. So he comes out and his song is on. It's coming. They're playing the song, right? And he comes out and he just stands there, and the crowd is cheering, and the song's playing. Just for a moment, let's be still. And he's standing there like all still, and the crowd's cheering. So finally, he says, he sits down and then he says, usually, because he's standing there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and the people are just like. So he sits down and he says, usually people come out and they wave to the crowd and they sit down, but I just wanted to see what happened if the person didn't sit down, like how long you would clap for. So that was his first experiment. So then, so basically he was trying to invoke a space of stillness in this late night energy, you know, this energy of entertainment. And then Jimmy Kimmel says, so how you doing? And Jim Carrey says, well, Jimmy, I used to think that I was a being that was inside the universe. But now I realize that the universe is inside me. And everyone laughed. Like they thought, the people in the crowd laughed. I thought it was a joke. He was actually being serious. He realized that the universe is actually inside him as the infinite awareness, where he used to think he was inside the universe. So he's realized the space of empowerment and freedom and love and peace, and everybody thinks it's funny. And it is kind of funny, and it's beautiful, and I love you all so much. See you in the next now.